Hey there. So I don't know about you, but I love coffee creamers around the holidays. I love all the different flavors, the sugar cookie, the gingerbread. There's so many good flavors, but they are so full of junk. They're full of off-plant oils. They're full of sugar. They're full of just unhealthy additives that you don't need. You don't need, and truly you don't want. As good as they taste, you don't want. So I'm going to show you, not only can you save money making them at home, but you can make healthy versions right at home. You can make dairy-free versions, and I'm going to show you a dairy light version. So if you're not opposed to having a little dairy in your creamer, you can do that as well. So you can have a whole quarter of a cup of these creamers, 1/4 of a cup, and the dairy-free version is 1 gram of fat, and the dairy light version is only 2 grams of fat, 1/4 of a cup. I will probably have a 1/2 cup a lot of times. I know that sounds like a lot of creamer, but I know you're doing it too. You're pouring that creamer and it's glugging a few times, and you're getting a lot more in that cup of coffee than you think you're getting. So, all right, I'm going to show you how to do this. Super easy. It only takes minutes. I'm going to make a big batch that's going to make 4 different flavors, and I'm going to show you how to make a frosted sugar cookie, a gingerbread, a peppermint mocha, everyone loves that one, and an eggnog flavor. So I'm going to make 4 creamers out of this one batch of creamer. You can use this just plain as it is, or you can make 1/4 of this and just make 1 flavor. That's up to you. It's your creamer. You do whatever you want. So it's super easy. So the first ingredient is allulose. I recommend allulose for your creamer because you're kind of making a condensed milk out of this sweetener and almond milk. And allulose makes a nice, smooth, condensed milk. It doesn't recrystallize the way some of the other healthy sweeteners do. Allulose is my choice for this. You can do it with gentle sweet, but I can't promise that it won't crystallize a little bit, but it will still taste great. So you are gonna need, for your base, you are gonna want 1 1/3 cup of allulose. You're gonna put this in a skillet, like a saute pan. You could put it in a little dipper, dish, whatever, what do you call them? Saucepan. You can put it in a saucepan, but I prefer to do it in a skillet. It cooks down quicker. You're going to need 4 teaspoons of coconut oil. And I know you're thinking, that's a lot of fat. That's because, again, I'm making a big batch of this. So it's okay. 4 teaspoons of coconut oil. We're going to do 1 teaspoon of, just rub that coconut oil in. We're going to need 1 teaspoon of butter extract. Now, my butter extract contains dairy. If you are dairy-free, then I know you can find yourself a butter extract that is dairy-free. They make that, they're everywhere. Olive Nation has one that's dairy-free. You can use that. But if you use the Trim Healthy Mama version or other versions, you want to look and make sure it's dairy-free if you need dairy-free. And then we're going to add 2 cups of milk, almond milk, 2 cups of unsweetened almond. This is actually half almond and half cashew. You can do all cashew, all almond, all coconut, whatever you prefer. And then we're just going to put it on the stove and we're going to bring it to a boil. As soon as it gets to a boil, we're going to lower the heat and we're going to whisk it until it darkens and thickens and turns into a lovely sweetened condensed milk. Okay, so once you have that reduced into a kind of brownish syrup, it's not going to look like heavy cream would when you reduce that into a condensed milk. It's going to look more like a syrup. If you cook too long, you're going to get into the caramel phase. So this is just, once it starts to really get a light brown color, turn the heat off, whisk it, and it's going to turn into this nice syrup. So then we're going to add that to our blender, all of the syrup, because this is the base of our creamer. So put all of that sticky syrup into your blender. And then we're going to add 4 cups. I told you this was making a lot of creamer. 4 cups of almond milk. And I just ran out of almond milk. No, we're close enough. We're going with it. 4 cups of almond milk. Then you're gonna add 2 teaspoons of sunflower lecithin. This is an emulsifier. So this is gonna help your creamer stay this is an emulsifier, so this is going to help your creamer stay together and not separate. But because of the nature of these types of creamers, it still may separate some. So when you take it out of the fridge, you'll just need to shake it up in your jar a little bit. So, okay. 2 teaspoons of sunflower lecithin, that's your brain food. And then 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Okay, 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. And then we're gonna blend it up for like 20 seconds. Okay, so here is our creamer base. You can enjoy this as is if you want. Yummy. It's just a plain creamer base, but I'm gonna make you 4 different flavors. So I'm gonna separate this into 4 different cups. Now, I am gonna have to reblend these, but I need a place to store them while I blend the individual ones. So let's pour them in our cups here. Oh, I got pretty close. Let's see, we can pour a little bit of this one. Try to get them 4 even batches. Okay, 4 batches of creamer. So let's do gingerbread first. Our gingerbread creamer is going to have our creamer base. We're gonna do 1 teaspoon of blackstrap molasses. Oopsie. Oopsie. Come on now. And there she goes all over the place. Oh, I never said I was clean. All right. 1 teaspoon of blackstrap molasses. Make sure it's all over the floor and the cabinet as well. 1 teaspoon of ginger. Oh my goodness. I literally not have the right measurements. Okay. 1 teaspoon of ginger. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And these will all be linked at the bottom of the video, so you don't have to panic and write them down. They'll all be there. And 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. Just 1/4 teaspoon. Cloves are strong, so you only need 1/4 teaspoon of clove. Okay, so there's our gingerbread. Let's zing this baby up. Just a few more seconds. Okay. There's gingerbread creamer. Let's give that a little taste. That is delicious. Okay, we've got gingerbread done. Let's do Peppermint Mocha next. So creamer base, we are going to do 2 tablespoons of your favorite cocoa. I am using straight up Hershey's. You can use whatever you want. Ghirardelli is really good. So 2 teaspoons of cocoa, and I will warn you that this one tends to separate more in the fridge than the others. So when you take it out, just shake it up real good. So what do I have written down? 1 teaspoon of peppermint extract. You can go heavier on the mint if that's what you prefer, or lighter. Or you can leave the cocoa right out and just put straight mint in it, and technically it would be candy cane. Zing that up. Okay. Peppermint Mocha. See how nice and thick and creamy that is? Just like the, you know the creamers I'm talking about. See? That's good stuff. Okay. Now we're gonna do eggnog next. So creamer base. Your eggnog is gonna have half a teaspoon of rum extract. Not real rum. And I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's 1 teaspoon of rum extract. You could do straight rum if you wanted, but I'm not recommending that. A teaspoon of vanilla and half a teaspoon of nutmeg. It smells like eggnog, y'all. That smells just like eggnog. Oh, that's good. Okay. The last one we are gonna make is sugar cookie. Now, sugar cookie, let's do the base. That is, all right, make sure I didn't pour the eggnog back in there. Sugar cookie is going to be a teaspoon of vanilla, a half a teaspoon of almond extract. Now here's what makes the sugar cookie one unique and also a little bit higher in fat than the others. You can still have this in a fuel pull, but cacao butter is what is going to give you the sugar cookie flavor. So I'm going to take my same pan that I just cooked the syrup in, and I'm going to put about a tablespoon of cacao in it. Just solid cacao chunks. I'm going to melt it down. It'll only take a few seconds, and I'm going to put that in my creamer. This adds about 12 grams of fat to the entire thing. So adding the cacao butter is going to give you about 1.5 extra grams of fat per serving. So in the dairy-free, that means it will be about 2.5 grams of fat. In the dairy light that I'm about to show you, it's going to be about 3.5 grams of fat. So, all right, it only takes a few seconds to melt this down. My cacao butter, pouring that into my creamer. And now I'm gonna zing that up. That's gonna give it a real cookie flavor. I forgot one ingredient, baking powder. Baking powder also adds to the cookie flavor. So, half a teaspoon of baking powder. We're gonna zing that up. We should have sugar cookie creamer. We have sugar cookie creamer. There we go. 4, not that hard, 4 dairy-free creamers. We've got eggnog, gingerbread, peppermint mocha, and sugar cookie. All right, so now the last step. We are done. If you want dairy-free, we are done. 1/4 cup, 1 gram of fat for these 3, 2.5 for the sugar cookie. Easy peasy. However, if you want dairy light, which is what I like, that makes these just a touch creamier, And I end up honestly only using a 1/4 cup versus a 1/2 cup with, I know a 1/2 cup sounds like a lot of creamer, but don't you judge. I know you're over there glugging it out of the container too. You're doing the same thing. So if you add 2 tablespoons of 1/2 and 1/2, not heavy cream, 1/2 and 1/2 to each one of these, it is going to extend this to 1 additional gram of fat per serving. And you don't even need to throw it back in your blender. Now, if you're only making one flavor, absolutely stick it back in your blender. But I'm just gonna do this. Put my cover on, shake it up. Now they're dairy light, they're not dairy free, they're a little bit creamier. A 1/4 cup goes a long way with these creamers. Whoops, glad I noticed that before I shook it up. There we go. So there is straight up eggnog creamer. Oh, that might be my favorite. That is so good. Gingerbread creamer. Maybe that's my favorite. Peppermint Mocha. Okay, that one's definitely my favorite. And then sugar cookie. I like them all. I don't play favorites when it comes to Christmas creamers. So, okay, you guys, I hope this mess that I made of my kitchen just for you, and I have molasses all over the floor and on my socks. I hope that this helps you get through the holidays with your sweet tooth for your coffee, your delicious on-plan sweeteners. No, I'm not gonna leave them like this, don't worry. Just trying to be fancy. I hope this helps you get through the holidays without buying those expensive, unhealthy, bad for you, creamers that you don't need because you have this. All right, I love you all.